Alright, so in the last video I talked about externalizing behavior. Let's go into detail about internalizing behaviors in children. So internalizing behaviors, what that refers to is the broad class of behaviors in which children direct feelings and emotions inwards, right? Instead of outwards, they're reflecting that behavior inwards. So internalizing behavior is commonly contrasted to externalizing behavior. So let's go over the internalizing behavior checklist. So there's a psychologist by the name of Thomas Achenbach, and he developed several highly regarded and widely utilized paper and pencil rating scales that counselors, psychologists, clinicians, and researchers use to identify and measure problem behaviors in children. So these questionnaires, one of them is known as the Child Behavior Checklist, shortened to the CBCL. It lists over 100 problem behaviors. So in some versions of the CBCL, children rate themselves, while there are other versions where parents or teachers rate the extent to which a child displays these behaviors. The CBCL subscales measure the severity of three classes of internalizing behavior, including withdrawn, somatic, anxious, and depressed behavior. All right, so let's go into more detail about that last sentence, withdrawn. So there are 9 items that indicate withdrawn behavior. All right. So if the student prefers to be alone, won't talk, sulks, stares, or is secretive, sad, shy, withdrawn, or underactive. And I know I have a few students that this would describe them, right? I have several students where they externalize the behavior, but there's several students who internalize it. They keep their feelings kind of in, right? They're withdrawn, they'll sulk, they'll stare, and they'll be sad in a secretive manner. Now let's go to somatic complaints. So the somatic complaint subscale includes 9 items. They are body aches, pains, and problems such as feeling dizzy, tired, aches, pains, headaches, nausea, problems with eyes, rashes or other skin problems, stomach aches or cramps, vomiting, or other somatic problems. So children afflicted with chronic health problems such as asthma tend to score high on the somatic complaints subscale. This kind of reminds me of a student that I have who would constantly ask to go to the nurse's office, complaining about things, stomach ache, something hurts, and they really had to go see the nurse, or that's what they were saying. Anxious and depressed. So there's an anxious and depressed subscale. Corresponds to the symptoms consistent with several possible diagnoses, such as overanxious disorder, major depression, or dysthymia. And the items on the checklist assess the extent to which the child feels lonely, guilty, worthless, nervous, fearful, suspicious, unloved, self-conscious, or sad. And one student of mine in particular comes to mind when I hear this, and they suffer from depression, and that depression is actually the reason why they have an IEP. They're below in reading and math because their depression from their home life's not the best, and it comes and it bothers how they react and how their behavior is at school.